Behaviour Interactive, a veteran work-for-hire studio, created Dead by Daylight is its own original horror IP after decades of developing games for other companies like Disney and HBO. The Trapper was the very first killer designed for the game and is an homage to classic horror villains. Behaviour Interactive and the creation of Dead by Daylight. Before the release of Dead by Daylight in 2016, Behaviour Interactive, formerly known as Artificial Mind and Movement, or A2M, was primarily known as a contract studio. This experience working with high-profile franchises gave them a strong foundation when they decided to develop their own IP. The core idea for the game was to create an original horror experience that celebrated the genre's most iconic tropes. Game director Matthew Cotte stated that the original killers were intended as a love letter to horror icons. While the studio was initially open to licensing existing horror movie characters, they also wanted to build their own IP, which led to the creation of the original killer trio, the Trapper, the Wraith, and the Hillbilly. The creation of the Trapper. The Trapper, or Evan McMillan, was the first killer created and became the game's mascot. His design and abilities were inspired by iconic horror characters, particularly Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th and Harry Warden from My Bloody Valentine. Jason Voorhees. The Trapper shares several similarities with Jason, including a large, imposing build, the use of a mask, and a crude bladed weapon, a cleaver instead of a machete. Jason is also known to occasionally use traps, while the Trapper's entire power is based on them. Harry Warden. The Trapper's backstory as a former miner links him to the villain from the slasher film My Bloody Valentine, who was also a miner. The Trapper's in-game lore establishes his backstory. Early life. Evan was the heir to the McMillan estate and an abusive mining magnate named Archie McMillan. Descent into madness. Evan admired his father's ruthless nature and served as his enforcer. As Archie's mental health deteriorated, Evan protected him from the workers who sought his fortune. The mass murder. When Archie finally lost his mind, Evan became complicit in a horrific mass murder. He led over 100 miners into the tunnels and sealed them inside with explosives, an act never legally proven against him. The end of the McMillans. Evan's father was later found starved and abandoned in a locked basement, an act implied to be committed by Evan. Evan himself was not seen again, as he was taken by the entity and tortured into becoming one of its loyal killers. The Trapper's development has been an ongoing process, with the character receiving multiple tweaks and reworks to adjust his gameplay and keep up with the evolving meta over the years, including proposed changes into 2025. Initial development. The original killer. As the first killer, the Trapper was initially referred to as Chuckles by the developers. Behaviour Interactive originally made him with slow actions and a focus on simple, brutal gameplay, before the meta and game mechanics were fully realized. The mascot. His iconic design, a muscular brute in a welder's mask, carrying a cleaver and bear traps, made him the game's mascot. He appears in the most trailers and merchandise for the game. Initial weaknesses. In the early days, the Trapper's power was much weaker. Traps would spawn randomly across the map, forcing him to spend a lot of time collecting them. There were also a lot of unsafe pallet loops on maps that could counter his traps. Quality of life changes. To address his weaknesses, Behaviour made several quality of life changes over the years. Trap spawning. Traps were updated to spawn closer to the killer's starting location or around generators, reducing the amount of time needed for initial setup. Trap carrying. The number of traps he can carry at once was increased from the default. Recent player feedback 2024-2025 player feedback and community concepts, such as those from the popular Dead by Daylight content creator Otstarva, have highlighted the need for more substantial reworks. Recent discussion points to a desire for less RNG and better map pressure. 2025 rework concepts and proposals. As of 2025, there have been ongoing discussions and proposed changes on the official Behaviour forums and community forums like Reddit to address the Trapper's state. While not all are confirmed, they show the direction of developer and community thinking. Some of these reworks have been added already. Remove trap RNG. The most significant proposed change is to eliminate the RNG aspect of escaping traps, making it a guaranteed escape after a set interaction time. This rewards killers for strategic trap placement rather than relying on chance. Base kit buffs. Concepts include increasing his base trap count and carry capacity and speeding up trap setting time to make him more effective from the start of a trial. Trap camouflage. To increase the effectiveness of his traps, some concepts suggest automatically spawning terrain-specific features to help camouflage traps when placed. Add-on changes. Many of his add-ons have been considered for reworks to make his power more consistent. For example, a rework proposal suggests a new effect for the Tar Bottle add-on that better blends traps with the environment. Frank Stone outfit. In a confirmed content drop for 2025, the character Frank Stone from the Supermassive Games tie-in will be available as a legendary outfit for the Trapper.